Okay, so this is going to be an tutorial on how to have a class list that allows your students to hang up their work on it, and also how to get your students to give the teacher share edit rights. So first you have to have a class list. I usually have 2 columns on my class list. As you can see, I got some pretty famous students here. So this red right here where you see the example, it says name link. That's where I will be hanging up in a few minutes. On the class list I usually have a column here for comments as I'm checking students' links if they messed up on their permission settings, anything like that. I usually put it in there. And then later on, if I'm printing the project or something like that, or if I've left them comments, sometimes I'll put it there, say, please see your document. So leaving this table here or putting that table here, I find is very helpful. When you make your class list, the first thing you have to do, I usually have a master copy and I just make a copy of it for every assignment, and then I name the class list that assignment. On the share settings, you're going to need to open it up wide so that anybody coming on to the document can edit. So as you can see, I'm going to go back here, the blue share setting button, you click on that, and you need to make sure in the advanced settings, I'm going to go advanced, I put here anyone with a link, and then on this pull down here, I'm going to change it to can edit, and I hit save and done. Now this document I usually hang up either on my website or I can put it in the Google Classroom as an announcement. That's 2 ways you can easily get your students to it if they know how to find your website. Otherwise, hang it up in the Google Classroom as an announcement so they can get onto it. So we have this document ready to go. It is open. Anybody on it can have edit rights, so that should allow your students to add to it when they come on. Now I'm going to go to an example of the student's work. So you would have your students open up their work. This says student's work. So we're going to pretend that this one is a student's work. You're going to have them click on the blue share button. The blue share button is up in the corner, and it automatically is set on private. I've already used this one, so the privacy settings are different, but it'll still work. The first thing that I do is right here where this top bottom box here, I have them type my name. In our district, the directory is in there, so if they start to type your first name, they'll see your email address. So I have them do that and make sure it says can edit, because as a teacher, I need to be able to go into their document and possibly edit, make comments. And so by giving me edit rights, I'm able to do that. And so I have them send a note that to me. Then I have them one more time click on the blue share button. And this time we're getting ready to hang it up. And for this purpose, I tell them we're going to go advanced because we're about to do an advanced thing. And you'll see down here in the bottom corner, it says advanced. We're going to click on that. And here it says change. And we're going to click on the change. By default, it's going to be private. I always put it on this one right here. Anyone with a link has access, no sign-in required. And then on this pull down here, I change this one to can view. We want to make sure that not just anybody with a link can comment on it or edit it. So we change this one to can view. So I have them double check to make sure that the second button down is the second circle down is the one that they selected. Anyone with a link can access, no sign in required. And then down here it says can view on the pull down. And then we hit save. So if we click in here, we can either do Control-C or right-click and grab that link, and we'll say done. Okay, so now your students have the link to their work. So this is where they need to go to your document with the class list, okay? And once they get on that document, they need to highlight their name. This is where most kids mess up. They forget to highlight their name, and they just accidentally paste a link right on it, and they end up with a mess like this. If they do something like this, remind them that right after they do it, if they hit this undone button up here, undo, it will go back to how it was. So they highlight their name, And then they look up at the top here for the thing that looks like links to a chain. If they hover on it, it even pops open a little box that says insert link. Now, if they don't see that up here, that's because the features up here are collapsed, and there will be a more button over here that they click on, and all the features will then pop open and they'll see it. So if they tell you they don't see a link up here, ask them to click on more. It should be right about there, and then all of the other options on the menu will open up and they can click on it. So they click on the link, and it says right here in this bottom box, it says link. So they're going to paste the link there, and they're going to say apply. Then I always have them test the link. So when they click on it, then this opens up and they click one more time and make sure it takes them to their page. A mistake that some of my students have made on a regular basis, so I'm just going to mention this, is they fail to adjust the share settings on their document and get the link from their document. And some of them who are going ahead, usually and not following directions, will actually come up to the class list document and grab the link to it and put it on their name. So when they click on it, it just brings them back to the class list. If that's the case, they're going to need to delete the link and try again. So to delete the link, you just click on it one time, and right here it says remove. And so if they had messed up on their link, that's how they'd fix it. So again, to put the link, I'm just going to go over it again. Highlight their name, click on the chain link up there, paste the link to their document in here. Once all of my students have placed the link on their name, I lock this up so that they can't go back in and edit it after that. So to lock it up, I just go to my share settings and go to advanced, and I change this. Right now it says that they can edit, and I just changed this to can view, so they can view only after that. So that stops them from going back into the document and messing things up, basically. So that's it for this tutorial. I hope that was helpful.